Yeah, so it is like leopard is one of the most adaptable cat species. So like clouded leopard, they need some kind of specific habitat. They need forest with bigger trees, and they need big trees because they live in the trees, and they don't like to come towards human settlement. They don't like scrublands, grassland. But leopard, common leopard,
Mhm.
is a different species. It's very adaptable. It can live around human settlement. It can live in dense forest. It can live in scrublands. It can live in, even it is even found in Middle East, deserts of Middle East. So
In the
it's a
deserts
very
as well.
adaptable species. And hmm?
In the
Sorry.
deserts as well. So
So yeah, so it's a very adaptable species. It has a big range. It's found in Africa also. It's found in Asia. So it has a big range. It lives in all kinds of habitat. It lives close to human settlements. There's a documentary called The Leopard of Joy, JWAI, The Leopard of Joy. Joy is a place in India, in Rajasthan. So I recommend you to try to
yeah,
watch that
yeah,
documentary,
I'll
The
watch.
Leopards of Joy. It's a really interesting.
And like, what about the human
The
conflict, as
Leopards
you
of
said?
Joy, JWAI.
What about the conflict that you said about like the leopards in the Mustang area?
Okay, yeah, I'm coming to that. I'm just making the background.
Oh, please do.
Okay, so yeah, they live close to human settlement. So they are one of the cat species which mostly come into contact with humans. So conflict is inevitable for leopards. They are so adaptable. They live close to human settlement, and humans are powerful. So leopard is also, in its own term, it's an apex predator. So when these two species come close, they're bound to be happen some there's bound to be some conflict to happen. So in Mustang, we went and we found that there's some conflict happening. So leopards trying to prey on yaks, smaller yaks, and mountain goats, the domesticated mountain goats, changra we call it.
Mhm.
So they try to prey on those species which the local people they have raised. They rear livestock. So livestock rearing is one of the important occupation for them, important source of income. So leopard tries to feed on those livestock. So that's how people get into conflict with leopard.
Okay, so like I don't know. Hopefully, there have not been any like uh, no lives lost of people, but like were there any kind of like stories of like any kind of tragedies, or what was the real like were people scared of the leopards, or like how did they deal with them?
In that case, I think conflict was low. In
Okay.
that particular area, conflict was not that high. Leopard used to feed on livestock, but it was not big. For one family, I have to check the figure because I didn't. It's a long time. I haven't looked at my thesis, so it should be around 3-4 thousand Nepali rupees per family. So the cost of conflict.
Oh,
So
that's a
they,
lot for like, for the people, especially.
yeah, for some people it's quite a bit. For some people it's very high. Like there are many families which live in income of less than $1. So that's quite
Okay.
a lot for some families, but still that is not very high compared to some other places where, like, uh, in in a district called Tanahu.
Hmm.
Uh, in the last 2 years, more than around 10-11 people have been killed, mostly children. So So that's even bigger cost,
Yeah,
it's even
by
bigger. The
leopards.
conflict is even bigger by leopards. Yeah.
I know, like the leopard are really well adapted. As you said, I've seen videos of a lot of leopards in India getting inside the villages, and people have like constant conflict. And the leopards get killed, or at least the people get hurt. And I don't hear much about the tiger, like tiger itself coming into the human settlement, but leopards too are more common, right?
Yeah, tigers also, they also come, but the thing is tigers are found in very small patches. But leopards are found all over Nepal. So there's
Oh,
more, when a species number is more, then there more incident will happen for that species. For tigers, they do come to human settlement, but like there's a lot of organizations working in tiger conservation and tiger research, and a lot of compensation is also provided by the government for anything lost, livestock or human lives. For for leopard also, government has started compensation scheme, so that's a good
why do
thing.
government
So
do
people, if they,
compensation? Like say, like if
why yeah.
sorry, we're having a little feedback or like conflict. Why do government usually like give compensation if say tiger or leopard kills somebody?
Tiger, it's an important species, it's important for tourism, it's important for nature itself. So,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of conservation funding for tigers. So we don't want to lose tigers because they are iconic.
Yeah,
So if there's no compensation, if there's nothing provided by government or any other organization, people are bound to retaliate and kill
okay.
tiger in retaliation. So the compensation is provided to to uh, to not let people do that, to not let people kill tigers or common leopard in retaliation.
It makes sense, but I don't know how much people would be like, okay, I got the money, but I'm not going to retaliate against some animal that killed something. But the best practice probably would be to not have that conflict at all, right?
Yeah, best is, but like I'll give you an example of Bhutan.
Mhm.
Bhutan is like, it has around 700,000 people. Yeah, probably 700,000 people.
Mhm.
So even Kathmandu Valley, it has like 4 million people.
Okay.
So Bhutan as a country has like 5 times less people than Nepal. Still, there's a lot of like forest is connected, and there are very few people. Still, people get into conflict with tigers or leopards there. Consider Nepal. We have like uh, 30 million, nearly 30 million people.
Yeah.
So this wildlife, they live in islands. Leopards and tigers, they live in island surrounded by human villages.
Yeah.
So just reducing conflict to zero, that's not possible. That's
Mhm.
not possible at all. Conflict is bound to happen. Just what we can do is make sure that the conflict is minimum,
Mhm.
and if conflict happens, then try to make sure that people would not retaliate. So
Okay.
compensation mechanism, and then in some places there are insurance scheme also, like other organizations or external organizations or government, they provide money for these livestock herders or others to insure their livestock, so that if a tiger or a leopard kills their livestock,
Mhm.
they get their money in full from insurance company, so
Okay.
that they don't kill leopard or tiger. So
So
these are some of the yeah.
yeah, so as you said, the government basically provides as an insurance, or if some, just to protect that tiger, just that the people would not retaliate, because the tigers, leopards, or any other animals have a big natural, like they're natural wild animals, and you don't want to disturb the wildlife there. But also they have a, I guess, the tourism factor with the government makes money out of saving the animals so that the tourist comes, visit those places, and the the fees would like benefit everybody. So, like, how much, like, do you think, like, the tourism have impacted positively or negatively in your experience? Because from the government side, it's definitely is beneficial, but as ecology side, like, as an environmental side, is tourism beneficial for the wildlife, or has it been like something you're like, oh, we have to do it anyway, kind of thing?
It depends. It depends upon how we are managing the numbers of tourists.
Uh-huh.
Uh, if it's too high, so there has to be a proper assessment before starting this safari and all those stuff. There has to be a proper assessment, like how many jeeps, safari jeep can enter a national park in one day,
Mhm.
whether it can be whether it is good to operate them during night also, or is it only during day, and how many tourists should go, and ethical distance, like a lot of tourists, they go with their cameras, and I have seen in some places I have seen like a safari jeep
Huh?
chasing a rhino. So that those things should be, yeah, that's not good, that's really bad. And government should regulate all those stuff. But if we regulate certain number of tourists, certain number of safari jeeps, then tourism also acts as deterrent to poaching, in
Yeah.
deterrent to poachers. In Africa, there have been studies which shows that having tourists in a protected area
Mhm.
acts as a negatively to the poachers. So poachers tend to not go to the areas where tourists frequent.
Yeah, like